Hello everyone, I'm Veysel. I'm a graduate from University of Warsaw. Currently I am independent researcher. Today I will present our paper with Theo called Could Green Building Certification System Benefit from the Introduction of Blockchain, a Systematic Review. Our research focuses on how blockchain can support the overall efficiency of green building certification system. And we go further deeper on the incentive mechanisms and their close relationship with design and governance choices. And we will conclude with a survey proposal. Let's start. So I will start with why green buildings are important. Construction industry is criticized due to their high negative impact on the sustainability. With the numbers, for example, 35% of global energy consumption is coming from the construction industry. Besides that, greenhouse gas emission, resource extraction, water consumption, waste statistic has a similar figures with the energy consumption. To mitigate the negative impact, green building concept has established. Green buildings are intentionally designed to reduce the stress on resources by limiting the negative impact on human health and addressing the challenges. We can say that green buildings are primary tools for advancing the sustainability in the building environment. So what is green building certification system then? To understand this concept, we need to first look at the sustainability measurement. Measuring sustainability performance is really important for us. It can be everything, action, or building, or a road, in everything. It's crucial for us because it helps us to identify the common goals, standards, and also challenges and successes in the domain. Standards in the sustainability is introduced by global organizations like ISO, GRI, etc. And they create the standards and the law, they become later on a law or industry standards. Over the time, green building certification system not only supported environmental perspective, also started to support social and economical part of the sustainability. On the below, you can see that most common green building certification frameworks, LEEDs, BREEAM, STDAMA, Energy Star, and there are many more. The requirement of all the green building certification system more or less the same. We can say that in the overview, energy efficiency, water preservation, minimum negative environmental impact. There are several certification systems then, because it changes with the location, project or goals and the budget. Then project owner can decide which certification system they want to go further with it. However, if we know that green building certification system is supporting the sustainability, but we don't see that much certified building around us. And when we look at the literature also, the adoption rate is pretty low. Obviously, when we look at the literature, there are some barriers. Barriers can categorized in 4 in the screen you can see. It is expensive to apply to green building certification. There is a really high upfront cost. People don't know about what is green building certification and don't care about it maybe most of the time. They don't have a motivation. And there is no enforceability of this. There is no law that you have to go with the green building certified buildings. And the most important, the practical. Traditional construction practices are so established that they don't want to change their habits, or the sustainability practices are sometimes more expensive or more complicated. So in order to overcome these barriers, green building incentive mechanisms are introduced. In the screen you can see. We can say that external and internal incentives. It can be financial, non-financial. It can be, for example, to direct grant to the project owners or tax reduction. It can be accelerating the process of getting the building, or it can be direct incentive like human well-being related, or altruistic incentives, or inspirational incentives can be an incentive mechanisms. When we look at the literature on this incentive mechanism, the most focus is the effectiveness of these incentive mechanisms. Why? Because it gives us to evaluate the incentive mechanisms and their stakeholder insights and influences. General criticism can be said that there is a potential bias because auditors and the audited company, there is an economical relationship between them. Lack of information again, and lack of enforceability, and companies are not able to decide which certificate they want to go with it. So there is we can conclude here that more integrated and comprehensive incentive mechanisms or green building certification system is needed. When we look at the literature, blockchain is one of the technology that can increase the overall efficiency. So what is blockchain technology is well known pretty much everyone here, so I will skip the basics, but want to mention a couple of important things for our research. Firstly, transaction. Transactions are an important element of the blockchain that refers to an action that records the exchange of data or asset. Once a transaction is completed with a timestamp on it, and it is added to the end of the chain. One more thing I want to mention is the consensus mechanisms. In the decentralized ecosystem like blockchain, consensus mechanism plays a crucial role. Firstly, they validate the transactions without a central authority and ensure the agreement among the nodes, among the participants. And also, more importantly for our research, it is critical for system performance metrics like scalability, block creation speed, etc. One more thing needs to mention here on the blockchain ecosystem, the nodes, the participants. We can categorize in three: broadcasting nodes, mining nodes, full nodes. Some of these participants needs to execute the consensus mechanism, but running consensus mechanism comes with the cost. So in order to sustain the ecosystem, participant needs to be compensated in some way, economic or non-economic. I will come to the incentive mechanisms in the blockchain a bit later again. I just want to move to the blockchain applications, specifically in the construction industry. We know that blockchain is already introduced for a really long time, and the categories can be said that smart energy, smart cities, smart government, BIM, and many more examples from blockchain applications, successful application. I just took a couple of examples from the literature, so from really newly published, which more focused on the certification and sustainability. You can see that they are tokenized energy certificates. They also use the sustainability commitments. For sustainability commitments, we also use blockchains. And also, for example, on the last one, blockchain-based token economics model for incentivizing ESG in the construction industry. What I want to conclude here that it is already, many studies are showing us that blockchain has a huge impact or success advantages in the industry, in the domain. However, when we look at the green building certification system, the domain remains relatively unexplored. In order to introduce blockchain to the domain, in this case green building certificates, governance and the design choices are really crucial. That's what we want to highlight here. Specifically for green building certificates, where we need a tailored solution because we are trying to tackle with adoption barriers and indirectly sustainability problems. So where this connection with the design and the governance comes from, design directly means that architecture of the blockchain affects it, consensus mechanism, smart contracts, and the governance means the rules are written into smart contracts, and these governance models are directly connected with the incentives and the game theoretic principles. So what are we trying to say in this research? A holistic design and governance approach is essential to ensure that blockchain solution aligns with our requested outcomes, which in this case, adoption and sustainability. So our research more focused on the incentives. Here you can see the high-level classification of incentive mechanisms inside the blockchain. It can be divided by form and the goal. Incentives by form can be monetary or non-monetary. Participants can be directly compensated with economically, or there are some tokens, gamified incentives or badges. There are many different diverse incentive mechanisms that we can implement to our solution. And by goal, we are trying to participate more. We want more participants in our blockchain ecosystem, and we want them to cooperate and not to behave selfishly. So our conclusion here is that well-designed incentive mechanism not only drive the desired behavior in our case, but also play a pivotal role in shaping the governance structure that govern the decision-making process of the blockchain protocol. Lastly, there is a need for a comprehensive global, green building certification system, more digital one. And the literature, our literature research shows us that with the blockchain integration, green building certification system can be more integrated. In the long run, there will be a cost reduction for sure. And thanks to its identity management feature, blockchain's identity management feature, there will be a streamlining of the verification process. However, specifically on the green building certification area, we identified that the stakeholder motivation is missing in the literature. Because building owners want cost reduction, architects want sustainable design, and certifying bodies want integrity, and the government for sure compliance with the incentives, etc. So we identified here is that, as a future work also, there is a recognized gap between theoretical recognition of blockchain potential in the construction, sustainability, and its practical implementation. As a future work, we propose a comprehensive survey targeting to stakeholders in green building certification, aims to explore their motivation and assess their receptiveness to our incentives and bridge the gap between theory and the practice. Hopefully, our survey findings expected to refine certification practices and drive the adoption of the green building certification system, and we will try to align the survey outcomes with our blockchain application. Thank you.